Yo, what's up, everybody? This is the J Roos Theory, and we got an exclusive interview with the greatest trainer in the game right now, Coach James Ali Bashir, and he wants to get some things off of his chest, and I'm gonna just let him talk about whatever he wants. But I wanted to first welcome you to the show, Coach.
Yes. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, it's great to have you, man. We haven't chopped it up in a while, but I know you were last in the camp of Daniel Dubois, so I wanted to ask you about that. How did that situation first come to be?
I was invited to the training camp by his trainer, Don Charles, to give insight on what I could provide concerning Alexander Usyk. So Don Charles, being the trainer that he is, invited me in, and I think that's I commend him for that, because Don Charles is not an apprehensive guy. Where I've seen different trainers over the years who were apprehensive about allowing another trainer into their camp, and Don Charles gave me a free hand in that camp. He gave me a free hand, and I respect him for that. I commend him for that. He's a good guy, and that's how I got in the camp.
Okay. Yeah, I thought it was a genius move to bring you in there, since you worked with Alexander Usyk and made him successful. And I mean, what do you think Dubois? What do you think he could have done different in that fight against Usyk?
If somebody asked me, where is Daniel Dubois going at in today's boxing, and I give him a big thumbs up, because he's so young. He's 25 years old, and he has plenty of room to learn what Don Charles is teaching him. They're getting used to each other. Don Charles took on a heavy load by taking him against Alexander Usyk in the very first time that they worked together, and he only had a certain amount of weeks to do it. So I think that they did a very, very good job in that fight, considering the time that they had to work together.
Oh, okay. Yeah, man. I kind of thought that Usyk was doing a little bit of an acting job, because I'm like, that didn't look like a low blow to me. It's like he was milking it.
Well, a lot of fans and pundits alike felt that Alexander Jeffing a little bit. He's putting on an act.
Yeah.
The body shot was. I don't know. I didn't get hit.
Right.
All right. I don't know, but it looked like it could have been a legal blow to me, because it seemed to be the same blow that Andre Ward threw against Kovalev.
Yeah, I saw that. Right.
And that was considered as an acceptable shot.
Yes.
So it depends what place you're sitting in. If you're in Alexander Usyk's corner and Usyk had landed the blow, it would have been acceptable. Vice versa.
Right.
Daniel Dubois threw the punch, and it's not acceptable.
Right.
There's a lot of politics involved in it all. Like I said, I wasn't the one that took the punch. I even had a number of people call me and criticize me for teaching Daniel Dubois to do that.
Wow.
Well, Alexander Usyk should know me, that I trained him for 3 years, and I never, not one time, told him to do that to any fighter.
Nah.
I think that I may be old-fashioned, but I believe in sport. I believe in bigging the sport up, doing the right thing in the sport, not telling somebody to try to do something where you're going to injure somebody possibly for the rest of their life. No. I never told Alexander Usyk to hit anybody low, and I've never told any fighter. I don't have a reputation for doing stuff like that.
No.
So no, I didn't tell Daniel Dubois to hit Alexander low. You
Yeah,
know,
I know that's not even in your character.
no,
You and Emmanuel Stewart don't get down like that. I mean,
no,
that's
no,
ridiculous.
no. No. I believe in sport. You know, I believe in sport. I think that Daniel Dubois did a comparable job up until that point.
Yeah,
He got, you know, he got a little angry in there. You know, Daniel got a little angry in there, and that played into the stoppage. You know, he got a little angry, a little frustrated because it didn't count Alexander out. You know, so and that's the understandable. Where's Daniel Dubois going in boxing? I think that he has room to work because he's so young. He's 25 years old, you know, so he's got some time to work and to get better. You know, if he listens closely to Don Charles, he's gonna grow. He's gonna grow. You know.
yeah.
Um,
I think he still needs you in his camp, man. That's just me.
well, it's a matter of logistics. You know, I mean, Daniel can use all the help that he can get. He's at a right tender age of 25 where he's got time to grow, to get better, you know, especially with this fight that he has coming up with Jarrell or Big Baby Miller. I think, in my opinion, Daniel has got to go out there and win this fight, and he's got to send a message to the division that, hey, I'm Daniel Dubois and I'm here to do work. You see what I just did? So he's got to put his stamp.
Yeah.
You know, he got to put a stamp on this job that he does on Jarrell Miller. He cannot allow Jarrell Miller to establish himself. He cannot let Jarrell Miller get into this fight. He's got to go out there and do the do. At 25 years old, he's got to go out there and do the do. You know, whatever it costs him, he's got to go out there and do the do and try to establish the name Daniel Dubois.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I was wondering if you watched the press conference and, you know, Big Baby's already trying to get in his head and
yeah, of course I watched it.
I was hoping Daniel would kind of say something back, but I guess that's not in his nature. I was like, man, say something, man.
No, he did the right thing. He's just being himself. Daniel Dubois is a quiet, humble kid, but he can fight.
Yeah.
Daniel Dubois can fight.
Absolutely.
And he can punch. All right? So he has some things working for him. So he did the right thing by not getting into a verbal shooting contest with Jarrell Miller.
Yeah. Yeah, I see that. Yeah, I guess it would be kind of playing into his hands, huh?
Daniel Dubois can punch. He's a rough, tough guy.
Yeah.
He's a guy outside the ring, but make no mistakes about it. He's a dangerous puncher.
Right.
And that's what he have to apply right from the get-go. When the bell rings, he's got to apply that. He's got to let Jarrell Miller know that I'm the boss and you're not.
Yeah.
You know, that's it's just plain and simple. There's no two ways about this.
Yeah.
You cannot let Jarrell Miller even have daylight. You cannot let Jarrell Miller establish anything in this fight. Because if Jarrell Miller if Jarrell Miller is allowed to take an inch, he's going to get the idea that, hey, I can take a mile.
Yeah.
He's just that kind of guy. Jarrell Miller is just that kind of guy. He's a street guy, and he tries to fight like a street guy.
Yeah. Would you advise? Do you think Daniel Dubois should fight him more on the outside or the inside, or should he put on a jab fest? Like, how do you think he should go about breaking him down? Because I've never seen Jarrell even knocked down.
Jarrell is Daniel has definitely got to use a jab. But I mean, look at Miller. Miller is a big guy. He's over 300 pounds.
Yeah.
So I mean, the philosophy here would be take him out to sea and drown him.
Right.
You know, put some wood on him early. Put some wood on him early. Take him out to sea and drown him.
Yeah.
Let him lay on you, because that's when all that weight makes a difference. When the guy is laying on you, maul you, brawl you.
Yeah.
He can't allow Miller to drag him into the woods, because that's when it's going to play into Miller's hands.
Yeah.
No, he's got to get in the center. He's got to get out in the center ring and move around that ring and force Miller to carry all of that weight around with him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Make his weight work against him.
Yes, I mean that's the general philosophy. You know, I don't know what Jarrell's mentality is. Obviously, he's comfortable fighting like that. And I don't know what his philosophy is, but that's what my philosophy would be. If I was to train Daniel Dubois to do it, I'd just tell him to stay away and take him out to later rounds and then come in and bomb him.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Daniel's definitely I believe, the harder puncher of the two. And what do you think Dubois' ideal weight would be to handle such a big guy like Jarrell? What do you think he should come in at?
Listen, you can't make an assessment on weight. Yes, it's look at Jimmy Young versus George Foreman.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy Young was in his 220s when he fought George Foreman. George Foreman had to be in his 250s.
Wow.
But Young handled the situation very well, slipping and sliding, staying out of harm's way. So you can't make an assessment about the weight. You know, like I said, mauling and brawling wouldn't be the best tactic to do with Jarrell Miller.
Oh, yeah.
To play into Jarrell Miller. But the major thing is that Daniel Dubois has got to listen closely to the instructions of the trainer, Don Charles. If he does that there, he'll come through this in flying colors. Maybe he'll get a late round knockout.
Wow.
Jarrell has never been knocked out, so that would be a big deal for that to happen, you know?
Yeah, that would definitely humble him, hopefully, because...
Yeah, because I'm telling you, Don Charles, if anybody can get into Daniel Dubois, Don Charles is the guy that can do it, because he looks up to Don. Wow. And he believes in Don, you know, and that's half of the battle.
Right.
But when the boxer looks up to the trainer, when he finds security in what the trainer is telling him to do.
Absolutely.
You know, and I believe that Don can get in his head and push him across the line. So that's very important that Daniel listens to Don and embraces what Don tells him and move forward.
Yeah, man, I couldn't agree with you more on that. That's just how I see it too. And
Jarrell Miller is like I said, he's a street guy. He has a street mentality. He's gonna fight.
Yeah,
he's gonna fight the way he knows how to fight. That's not going to change. But that doesn't exclude Daniel Dubois. Daniel Dubois got to say, you know, F you, man. I'm going to bust your ass. You understand?
Yeah.
I'm going to bust your ass. And that's all there is to it.
Right.
Because Jarrell is going to have that mentality coming in.
Yeah, he is.
You understand? So the only way to diffuse that there is for Daniel to have that mentality. Like I said, Daniel did the right thing. He didn't get to no pissing contest with Jarrell. He didn't get into a pissing contest. He just said, hey, man, you know, it is what it is. When the bell rings, we'll find out who's who.
Right. Yeah, but man.
This is a good fight.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this fight maybe than the main event, the co-main event. I wanted to ask you, too, I mean, if you still want to go on about that fight, it's fine with me. But I wanted to get your take on Otto Wallin versus Joshua and Wilder and Parker too. Do you think there'll be any upsets in those fights?
You know, Wilder's been out so long. it's a 50-50 fight to me.
Yeah.
Some say it's a 60-40 fight. Some people say it's a 70-30 fight. But I say it's a 50-50 fight because boxing is a sport that you've got to be in it to win it.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if Deontay has been training and all this time he's been absent.
Yeah.
But will he be ready for that fight? Time will tell.
Right.
Parker's got to know the same thing, the same way that Waleed has got to know that this is my chance. This is my big chance.
Yeah.
Both of those guys got to be saying, this is my big chance. If I can mount an attack and I can pull off a win here, I can get in the mix. So that's what makes both of those guys dangerous.
Yeah.
Both guys, Parker and Waleed, it makes them dangerous, you know?
Yeah.
Because they and excuse me.
Oh yeah, you're okay.
I got a brain freeze.
It's so much knowledge. It's so much knowledge up there. It's like it's starting to overheat.
Joshua and I got a brain.
Yeah, Joshua and Waleed.
No, Joshua Wilder. Those guys have got to be P's and Q's, you know, because you got two hungry guys, two capable guys that's coming in against them. And I know that both of them are thinking KOs. If I can KO this guy, he can clear up at the neck and think about fighting each other.
Yeah.
So it's a 50-50 fight because Wilder has been out so long.
Yeah.
You know, he's been out so long, and Parker is not a great fighter, but Parker is not a bad fighter.
Right.
Waleed is a very, very durable guy. All right. I'm often in a gym working with Waleed, and he's a capable guy. He's a hungry guy, and he's been in there with Joshua before. I think on one or two occasions.
Yeah.
So, you know, in the back of his mind, he's saying, I can beat him, you know, so that makes him a dangerous guy.
Yeah.
So you'd have to give both these guys a 50-50 chance of winning.
Yeah. Yeah, and Waleed showed he's not intimidated by Joshua, that's for sure. He was all up in his grill, and I think what's that?
They've met 2 times before, so he's not going to be intimidated.
Right. Right. Yeah, I'm looking forward to these fights, you know. One thing I didn't like about what Wilder did though, like he seemed super respectful when Joshua was in the room, and then afterwards he started talking stuff about him. I'm like, why didn't you do that while he was he's talking about Joshua was ducking him and all that. I was like, man, he was right in your face and you extending your hand to shake his hand, but then, you know, after that, you were like really going at him. I was like, I didn't like that. I was like, I don't quite know how to read that.
Did Joshua shake hands with him?
Yeah, Joshua shook hands with him. Deontay smiled in his face and shook his hand, but Joshua was kind of just mad dogging him until Wilder extended his hand. I'm like, dude, where's all that smoke you had before? Like, what's going on? So yeah, what's that?
I think that Wilder and Joshua was a fight that should have been made 5 years ago.
Yeah, way long time ago. I agree.
When they were really, really, really budding in their careers, they should have banged out. Especially after the first Fury fight.
Yeah, they
should have fought each other. You know. I don't understand modern boxing, why it takes so long for top contenders to get in, and then they put the guys in when they're past their primes, and it doesn't make for the best fight. It makes for a best business deal, but it doesn't make for the best application of the artists.
Right. Yeah, I've said that for years. I'm like, why are modern day fights so hard to make? I mean, they see, especially after Spence Crawford, if you make the big fights, people will pay. People will put their wallets down.
They're squeezing the fan base for money.
Yeah, that's true.
They're squeezing the fan. I mean, it's like Shakur Stevens versus Tank Davis. You know, these guys need to fight.
Yeah.
I mean, Roberto Duran fought Esteban de Jesus 3 times. 3 times.
Wow.
And these was top guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. You know, I mean, Sugar Ray Leonard fought Tommy Hearns.
Yep.
It took them. Emmanuel told me it took them 45 minutes to make the fight.
Oh man, 45 minutes.
You want to fight? Yeah, we want to fight. X amount of dollars. X amount of. Okay, we meeting so and so, and they met and they fought, and they put on a great exhibition of boxing. And there hasn't been a welterweight fight that can match that welterweight fight since then.
Man.
There hasn't been a welterweight championship fight to match Tommy Hearns and Sugar Ray Leonard since then. To show you the quality of boxing, how was in its decline.
Oh yeah, it has. It really has.
I mean, I just don't have the drive. If I wasn't a boxing trainer, if I didn't depend on it for my livelihood, I probably wouldn't even be watching boxing.
I know what you mean.
It's just. I mean, you know, you took Charlo with his exhibition that he fought Red, you know.
Yeah,
and
what was that?
I mean, Canelo was in there. It just looked like they was just going through the motion.
Yeah, that was terrible. That was terrible. I was like, really, dude? Like, people pay all this money and you're going... It's like he just wanted to get a check and say he fought Canelo. I was like, man, if you don't put up a fight, that's going to hurt him in the future when he tries to sign maybe Crawford. Ain't nobody going to want to see it now. It's like they'll think he's going to do that again.
Not good. It's not good. Like I said, for years and years, I invested myself in the sport of boxing, the sport/business of boxing.
Right.
And now I'm on the tail end of it. You know, after 56 years, I'm on the tail end of it. And it's just like watered down.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like watered down boxing.
It really is.
Where YouTubers could come in and get far more money than guys who have put 25, 30 years in it. Yeah. Where YouTubers could come in like overnight and make hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars.
Oh man, yeah, it's a new day, isn't it?
Me, so you justify that to me because I can't make no sense of
it. yeah, it's like the world's turned upside down. I mean, for instance, I don't know. Did you catch the Tyson Fury Francis Ngannou fight? Did you see that?
Yeah.
So what'd you think of that?
It was a joke. It was a joke. The fight should have been a split decision for Ngannou.
Yeah. Oh, I agree.
But at least a draw.
Right.
But the thinking is that we got to make this fight with Usyk.
Yeah. That's what I said.
Versus Fury, and we don't care what you saw. This is what it is.
Yeah.
The fight the other night, the little portions that I watch with Shakur Stevenson versus this young man, Dela Santos. What is it? Dela Santos?
Yeah.
That was a questionable fight. That was a very close fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, because neither one of them wasn't doing nothing.
Yeah, just staring at each other.
You know, Shakur said something was wrong with him, and the promoter, Bob Arum, said there was something wrong with himself. We have to take that with a grain of salt and say, hey, man, something was wrong with him.
Yeah.
But he didn't fight the way that he was capable of fighting. I know that.
Right. Do you think fighters are trying to protect their, since Floyd Mayweather, everybody wants that 0 in their loss column. Do you think fighters are too afraid to lose now? It's like, I don't want to take any chances or risk.
You know, when I train a fighter, I tell them, don't worry about the wins and loss. Just worry about doing a good job and not getting hurt because you didn't do a good job.
Right. Wow. That's profound. Man. That's why we, man. Wow. Your phone should be ringing off the hook, man. I don't. The world don't even make no sense, man. Your phone should be ringing off the hook from the top
Well,
fighters.
I think that a lot of boxers want to get to where they're going without a lot of hard work. I require a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
I have a reputation for requiring of hard work.
Yeah.
I'm not going to play games with nobody. I'm not going to hold nobody's hands. You're going to do what you're supposed to do, or you're going to get out of my face. I ain't got time for it.
Absolutely.
I believe in putting my work in. I'll do my part. You do your part. When you get to the ring, I've been around a long time. I've been out there a long time, man. Most of the guys I've worked with, you know, including Joseph Parker's trainer, Andy Lee. I worked with Andy Lee.
Man.
In the Kronk, I worked with him. You know, I worked closely with Andy Lee in the Kronk.
Wow.
You know, and Andy Lee was always a respectful guy, and he always gave his best.
Yeah.
I can't think of one time we even had an argument, you know, because he did what he was told to do, and he worked hard.
It's like you always say, man. We don't need more trainers. We need teachers, and now we just have a smorgasbord of trainers. But you know, go do your road work. Do like 100 jumping jacks. Like, but what are you teaching them?
I watch all the time. There are a bunch of guys out there who are parading around with the label trainer, and I'm observing them from a distance, and they're making tons of mistakes in their teachings, in their so-called teachings. But who am I to say that, you know? It's boiled down to, this is how I do it. That's my justification. This is how I do it. And that is a justification across the board. But it does not make it right.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't make it right. My time is coming, though. You know, I get back in the day. I'm just thankful that I still have a good relationship with Lennox Lewis.
Wow.
I'm thankful to have a good relationship with Vladimir Klitschko, and that to this day, those guys listen to me. When I talk, they listen, you know?
Yeah.
So, and I'm grateful that they have respect for me, you know, as a teacher. You know, when I talk, they listen. You know, I tell them there's a way to do the thing, it's a way not to do the thing. So that's it in a nutshell.
I was just about to say right before you said it, I was like, that shows how great you are that these top fighters have so much respect for you. Like, because it's hard to get somebody to listen to you nowadays. It's like people like to hear themselves talk, but when you get somebody's attention, that shows that they really value what you have to say, man. And I just think these fighters are doing themselves a disservice by not having you in their camp, and that's just really how I feel about it. I mean, because I hear, like you say, I hear these trainers in the corner, and I'm like, are they watching the same fight I'm watching?
Right. Well, I think that the modern day trainer, many of them, you know, I think it would be a bit naive to say all of them, but many of them are really acting as cheerleaders and not teachers, not trainers.
Mm.
They are teachers, and then teachers leads into being a good trainer.
Wow.
Many are much cheerleaders, you know, because they harp on the wrong thing. You know, fighters coming in the corner and they dictate what they want to do or what they didn't do, or this is why I couldn't know.
Yeah. What
you need to do, and I've told you how to do it. You know, don't do no talking. Just listen. We only got 1 minute in this corner. I want you to go out and do this, that, or the other. All that other stuff, all that arguing and fighting with the referee and all this doesn't make sense. Yeah, it's not going to win you points. All right? Go out there and do this, that. That's what you need to do to get to that.
Yeah.
But they don't, most of the fighters don't do it. Like I say, I'm not as enthusiastic about boxing today as I was yesterday.
Yeah,
when you go to boxing of the the 60s, the 70s, the 80s. People say I'm lost in a time machine, but that's when I could appreciate the sport the best.
Yep.
Those guys were out there and they were laboring. They were laboring. They were applying themselves in every facet.
Yeah.
The bob weaving, the flipping, the slide. Ala Purnell Whitaker. That era.
Right.
when you saw artistry.
Yeah. I was just saying the other day, man, I'm not a big fan of all this streaming and DAZN. It's like I want to feel an event like we used to feel. Boxing used to feel bigger than the Super Bowl. Yeah, Jim Lampley, George Foreman, Larry Merchant, even though a lot of people got a problem with Larry Merchant. It's just they had a presence to them that I don't even like the announcer nowadays. So it's like the whole boxing just needs a whole revamp at this point. I mean, we've had pretty good years as far as fights finally getting made, but why did it take so long like you were talking about,
I mean, how long has Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder been atop the heavyweight division? How long?
Yeah, man. I think I first saw Deontay in 2014, and then Joshua took off in 2017. That's when he made his big, made the heavyweight division get put on notice back when he fought Klitschko. And we've been hearing about these two for the longest, and for some reason, they just can't get in the ring. I mean, if somebody offered me $100 million, man, I wouldn't. Man, I'd fight for free, let alone $100 million.
Yeah,
Man,
that's the difference right now. Yeah, of course, but I don't know. It just takes so long to get these guys in the ring. I don't know. I mean, it can't be the money because the money is there.
yeah,
The money. I come from the era where the boxers told the promoters, they told the trainers, the management, I want that fight.
yeah.
Get me that fight.
Right. That's what I always say. You're the boss. Like you're as the fighter, you're in charge. And then people like to say, well, the promoters and the TV networks. I'm like, yeah, but they have no business without the fighter. They need the fighter.
Listen, like you said, Wilder and Joshua, they don't like each other. Hey,